Hello, this is Rhonda with I'll Walk With You. I'm excited to introduce to you my friend Dina Kieffer. Dina and I first met several years ago as a mutual friend invited her to a women's retreat that I was facilitating. I instantly felt a connection to Dina as she is an active member of the Church of Jesus Christ of Latter-day Saints, has a career in helping others, and is married to a member of the Spokane Tribe of Indians. I am also an active member of the LDS Church, a licensed mental health counselor and life coach, and my ex-husband, as well as my kids, including Dakota, of course, are members of the Spokane Tribe of Indians. Dina and her high school sweetheart have been together for 40 years and married for 36. They have 5 beautiful adult daughters and 11 grandchildren. She is also one of 11 children. Dina has a great love for her family and others. She was the first certified foot zoner and instructor in the state of Washington and has been practicing for 24 years. Dina is also a certified spinal flow practitioner. Her passion truly is serving and helping others. Just last week, Dakota, myself, and our spouses had the opportunity to visit Dina and have her work on each of us. It was such a beautiful healing experience that this weekend I will be taking other family members to see her who are experiencing a lot of grief at this time due to a recent loss in our family. Dina shines light. Her loving heart comes through in all she does. During our conversation, she talks about some of the hurt that she has experienced due to the judgment from members of her church congregation. She also talks about what it is like being white and living on the Indian reservation. She also talks about choosing love in the midst of the hurt. Her message is beautiful, and we were honored to have her as a guest. Thank you for joining us for this episode of I'll Walk With You.
Hello, everyone, and thank you so much for joining us for another episode of I'll Walk With You, the podcast where we have conversations about how we can all be more unified on our walk through life together. My name is Dakota Moses.
I'm Rhonda Monson, and our guest today is Dina Kieffer. I had the opportunity of meeting Dina a few years ago. We have a mutual friend who invited her to one of the women's retreats I was putting on, and in all honesty, Dina, as soon as I met you, I just loved you. You have such a beautiful light about you. And then as I got to know your story just a little bit, that you're married to a member of the Spokane Tribe of Indians and that you live on the reservation, then I loved you even more because my kid's dad is a member of the Spokane Indian reservation, Spokane Indian, and my kids are Spokane, and you and I have beautiful babies.
Yes.
And I felt this kinship with you.
Thank you. Yeah, I know. I connected with you as well, really instantly. So that was an amazing retreat. I had no idea what I was getting into, but it was the best thing. So thank you. It's beautiful. And yeah, I love the podcast, what you guys are doing. I guess it's been in me my whole life, so I appreciate that you recognize that my heart is just, I love people. That's what I want them to feel that as well.
Absolutely. One thing that we're not able to do video because for some reason it's just technology is not working with us in this moment. But for those who can't see you, Dina has like the most beautiful long blonde hair and blue eyes, and she's a very beautiful white person, and she lives on the Indian reservation. And I know for me, sometimes when I would go out there, sometimes it was a little hard. And I love that I've never heard you ever talk about hard. And I love that all you ever talk about is just this sacred land that you live on. And I appreciate that so very much. And I would love for you to share with our guests just a little bit about what you do and what space you have created there at your home.
Yeah. So, we have been, married for 36 years already, almost 40 together. That goes so fast. And so I was kind of the new, I'd say, white girl, when I moved up here with my family. I literally was. It's a very small rural area, so you're everybody knows when somebody new moves into town. And as you stated, I didn't realize when my family moved up here, my dad was a beekeeper, and we were coming up because the bees did really well. But I had no idea we were moving literally. And it's Hunters, so if you know where that is, it's 20 miles from the Spokane Indian Reservation. So I had nothing, I had no idea what Native American was. I saw the movies, and that's kind of, honestly, isn't that sad? But that's all I knew was, the movies version. And so I was very open at sixth grade. I was young, and that's where I met my husband. And I was just always attracted to the dark skin and his handsome, looks. And then I just grew to love, and yeah, this is home. We just moved back here, and we did leave for a little while, but this has always drawn me, the peace. The Native Americans they're very connected and with Creator God. And I think, I was raised LDS, so, I say God, but Creator, it's the same thing.
Yeah.
And yeah, I mean, I think most would agree with that, but I love their respect for the land, for the herbs, for medicine, because I'm that granola girl too. So I'm doing the natural as much as I can and learning and growing in that field and trying to help others. But there's a peace that's out here that I've lived I've lived other places. I've never felt the peace. There's a sacred holiness to the land, and I think it's the people. And yes, I'm the white girl here that some might, look at and think that's kind of funny that I could connect so much, but I feel like the ancestors were very, very happy when we moved back here. The spirit is just, it's peace and beautiful, and people feel that when they do come here. And so yeah, I'm creating a space where people can come escape. When I say escape, it's not really like we can't escape our lives, but come and get that rest, and just let the nature, let Mother Earth, let the healing happen here. Just come and connect and ground and reground and kind of get that strength back, right? So we can go
Yeah.
back. And yeah, so I've created the space. This is a dream of mine that I've wanted to do for, honestly, 20 something years, since I started learning natural healing. And we've tried to get land and things, looking for a retreat space or just a space to do the healing stuff. And it's never worked out, and I never knew why. I mean, honestly, we thought we had it solidified, and then come to find it, and now I know it was never on the reservation. To be
Hmm.
honest, it was not. And this makes perfect sense now. It all makes sense. I can see how his hand was in all of it coming into fruition now. So I just had to be patient, and it's coming. It's here. So
Oh, I love that so much. Um, so when we're talking about this, Dina has created they bought land, they built their own house, and now she's also built a little retreat center out there for people to be able to use to retreat from
yeah,
heaviness. Does that say it pretty well?
it does. I'm a tree girl, so I mean, the water's close. I love the water too, but the trees are just, to me, I guess here's the thing. I came back here, and I was in my worst health possible 5 years ago when we moved here and built, and I was crashing. And I didn't realize when I picked my spot, I could have had a spot that was overlooking the water, like a half a mile down,
Mm-hmm.
and it had no trees, or it could have been, and it was beautiful. I mean, that view is gorgeous. Or it was in the trees. I wanted to hide. I wanted to be in the trees, and I wanted to ground. And I realize now what I was drawn to was just the anchoring I needed in my own life, the foundational, like, to ground. The trees are so grounding and healing and just beautiful that, yeah, yeah. So you described it, I think, perfectly.
That's beautiful. Thank you so much for sharing. I would love to hear more about your work, about what it is that you're doing, what some of your, I guess, your goal and your mission is. what you feel called to. I would love to hear more about that aspect as well.
Yeah. Um, sure. So I do foot zonology is the first modality that a method that where I actually sit at your feet and work the nervous system and all the signals. You have a signal to all the systems in your body that end in your feet, and everybody has these. It's not like it's kind of like the computer and a keyboard, and I'm down on the keyboard, which is your feet, and I can access all your systems, and we're able to just kind of like I see it as going in and switching on like a light switch in a house. We're going in all these rooms where there's been a disconnect or a blockage or something in the systems, and it shows up on the feet. And so I kind of go in, and as I'm doing them with my hands, I'm sitting down there, and I think the difference is from people think, oh, I used to have people when I first started, they'd be like, tell me all the bad. I mean, they want to know every little thing. And I am not the same zoner as I was back then, because they kind of train you to do that, right?
Mm-hmm.
If you ask me now, I won't say it because I know there's power in your words. So I just go in and turn on the lights, and it's kind and gentle. It doesn't have to hurt. There might be some sore spots, but it's about your body, just trusting your body, holding that positive space that everything is healing, and you're getting back into balance, and just trusting the body to do what it already knows it can do. And so that's where that comes in. I love to help people. Most come with high stress. I think everybody in this world right now is going through that. Kids, I work on kids, infants. Um, it doesn't matter if you're 90 something years old. I worked on my grandma. She was 90, I think she was 99 actually, right before she passed. She had a stroke, and I grabbed her feet, and she loved it. And so I've seen some miracles happen, and not every session is a miracle, as in you don't see these big, huge, things all the time. I believe that's when it's meant to be, but there's always positive that happens from it. But I've also seen miracles happen. Like I've helped 300. I quit counting, to be honest, because it's not about that, but over a lot of babies be here that were not able to have children, by working on the both partners, and as well as just there's a lot when I link arms with God. I feel like he allows me to get to be the instrument that I get to learn and grow as I'm touching their feet. I'm sitting down there, and I visually feel like the savior. I know that might sound a little cheesy to some, but to me, how humbling is it to get to sit at the feet and to just send love to everyone you touch? And that's really all it matters. It doesn't matter what's blocked. They just need to feel, you know, heard, seen, valued, loved. And I want and worth. And I just send that to them while I'm working on them and hold that space. And most people, some will have a release, an emotional release. It doesn't always be. Most just feel lighter. They say, I just feel light. And that's what it's about, right? It's letting go, shedding the weight of the world, of our own trials, our own things, and so yeah. I mean, I'm one person. I did teach it for years, and I feel like I'm kind of being called to get back into that as well, because I do feel like every home, every family should have somebody that can do that, do this for their family members. It helps with your immune system. It does all, right? All kinds of things, helps with circulation. So anyways, I hope did that explain kind of my mission is
Yes.
to help. And I feel like now I need to go bigger than that. I never in a million years thought I would want to host like group stuff or retreat things, but I feel like God's pushing me out of my comfort zone to share more, because I'm one person. I do one-on-one, but now I feel like what I think or you think, right? We all think everybody knows some of these things that we know, and they don't, and we need to just share. So
I love that, and I love that you're doing that. I love that you're sharing light and love. I agree with you 100%. The world needs so
mhm.
much more of it. That's why Dakota and I both felt like we needed to start this podcast. You know that we had a pretty bad tragedy in our family this week, and I was debating whether or not we needed to reschedule, and Dakota was like, no, I think we still need to do it. And this
Mm.
morning when I woke up, I was like, just really like, yeah, that's the whole purpose. That's why we're doing this, is
Mm.
because we need love. we,
Yeah.
we need love. Love is what heals. Love is what changes things. Love is what casts out darkness. And so I'm really excited and happy and honored to have you as a guest, because that is who you are. You are love. So I would
Mm.
love to hear just what you have created as far as your property goes on the reservation.
Yeah. So I don't really, it's new. Like I said, it took me almost 2 years to complete, but it's a little two-bedroom, kind of a modern contemporary, space in the trees here, like I said, and then I've created, so it's that is a rental that I'm kind of like Airbnb in, but my preference is to not just Airbnb. I just got to kind of get something going out there and get it out there, right now. But my preference is, I know in the next few years, I'm hoping to have just it booked with just little like groups doing their own like healing stuff, coming out and getting away. I have two teepees. There'll be two 18-foot teepees that I already took them down. I only got them up for the weekend in October. That was my very first attempt, and I think I did okay at a retreat with a small group. And it was my birthday weekend, and I just, my heart and soul, and I literally put everything into this. I just wanted to, even though we set the teepees up and then took them down in a week,
Yeah.
So I have two teepees that are kind of bougied out, on the inside. I have to say, they're gonna have the queen beds with, little heat or AC in there and stuff, but and on a deck. And so they're set up for sleeping in those two. And then I have a big one that's a 26-foot that I realized when I had my two 18-foot, I needed bigger that we could do like sound baths or healing circles, medicine circles, just something to, a space that would give us a little more room, because we had about 8 to 10 and we were kind of crowded in there when we laid down and tried to do it. So I have a 26-foot teepee that will go up this spring, and then that will give us a little more space. And I'm just excited. I feel like there's a lot of opportunity here to bring in the native traditions and culture. And as you know, I'm married to native, but my husband wasn't raised, with the
Oh,
culture. Like, meaning I don't even think he went to a powwow. I could be wrong, but I felt like he didn't until we were together.
wow.
So, yeah. So, it was sad. That's kind of how I mean, he was raised on the reservation, but he didn't know a lot about the stuff that I feel like now we know.
Yeah.
Um, yeah, so we kind of had to learn it ourselves. I remember we would take our little girls up to the powwows, and the culture, and I would just feel the energy while they were drumming and singing,
Mm.
and it just, I would cry. I didn't know what they were saying, but I could feel, the spirit there. So, yeah, so I'm hoping to get the doors open and I think I have the right connections to people that would share some of that sacred, drumming, and maybe some of that here as well.
I wish the camera was on, because you would see Dakota with his eyes wide, nodding big time.
Oh, yeah. And here's the sad thing, Dakota, you're native, so I don't know why I feel like it's scary to I'm afraid of judgment of someone going, "Who are you?" With the blonde hair and the white skin,
You
but
know, I was just going to ask you about that. I actually have two questions, so that was a perfect little segue into two of my questions. So I know that there can be an environment of judgment towards people with white skin and
Mhm.
in traditional spaces. And understandably so. You know, we can't turn a
Mm-hmm.
blind eye to the genocide and the appropriation and the um, just the heinous things that have happened uh, at the hands of white men and women, and in the name of Christianity as well. Um, but I know that there can often be raised brows at the least,
Mm-hmm.
and just blatant anger and hatred towards um, people with white skin who choose to practice traditional medicine or
Mm-hmm.
traditional healing modalities or traditional music or rituals, things like that. And so, my first question, I suppose, would be, what have what have you faced in your journey, um, as far as, I don't want to say necessarily discrimination, but use that word of raised brows. What kind of raised brows have you faced, um,
Mm-hmm.
being a white woman, in this more naturalistic healing space?
Mm-hmm. And I can honestly say, I mean, when we first got married, I remember going up to the main hub, kind of, it's Welpin, where you get services and things. And I believe I was pregnant, so I didn't
Yeah.
know where I was going. And I remember that was my first experience of getting kind of the runaround. Like
Mm-hmm.
I realized after they had sent me these I'd went to like three or four different offices where the Native women kind of just, I walk in and they would look at me and just be like, "Who are you?" And I'd be like, "Well, I'm looking for the clinic." I mean, it was or something. This is years ago now. It's pretty labeled up there and stuff. But I was looking for a certain office. I can't remember, and they'd say, "Oh, that's over. You got to go here." And then I went there, and I swear whether it was meant to or not, I got the runaround, and no one was very friendly. I always feel like I get kind of looked at, and at first, if they don't know me, and
Yeah.
and they don't know me, right? I feel that judgment or that kind of raised eyebrow you said. But I can say, I actually over the years it changed when I learned the zoning. I was still I we had lived out here. We were still living out here before we moved off the reservation. And I was just getting started and working on, it's kind of funny how it's like I feel like it wasn't even somehow my word got out there that I helped somebody get pregnant, right? On the reservation. And that just went. And so I had quite a few people actually kind of be like, either whether they were just curious or interested, and I still feel like I get that kind of, or but then they come, and I think then that all goes away.
Yeah.
They connect, they meet me, they, give me, they trust me. I was actually asked, it's been for probably 10 years, I would go out to native uh the native clinic in Spokane, and they had a diabetic program, and I had zoned one of the women up there, the head women in the office over the diabetic program, and she actually would pay me to come and work on all the native
Wow.
diabetics. They would get free sessions from me through their program.
Wow.
And you know how intimidating that was too, because I'm going in meeting all these, I mean, they're natives, right? Like
Yeah.
men, women. And then I walk in and here I am, white girl, but I instantly share my heart. Like I've been raised, around on the reservation with my husband. My kids are native. My grandbabies have more than half are enrolled. So I know this life, I
Yeah.
am a part of it. It's not like I'm a complete outsider, but yeah. So
Absolutely.
I've earned the respect, to be honest. And then I also traveled up there to the DSHS clinic, the Department of Social Health
Yep.
Services, where I love the tribe. They give them an hour of self-care every day that they can go, with pay. So they can go walk, they can go work out, they can go do things. Well, they kept me for, I'd say 15, 10, 15, maybe longer, about 15 years. Yeah, because it's only been the last like maybe 7 or 8 that I haven't. I would go up there once a week and just sit on the floor in offices. They'd kind of give me a space, and whoever would on their break, they would take their lunch break and come and get their feet done. So I've made a relationship over the years that I feel like with some, but you're right, instantly a lot still don't know who I am,
Yeah.
you know?
I I keep thinking, I'm listening to you talk, and I don't know, I'm going to share it because it's where my mind goes, but I think of a scripture story in the Book of Mormon, actually, and it's Ammon when he goes to King Lamoni, and I hope I got names right because I'm terrible with names, but just that service. Like,
Hmm.
I'm here to serve.
Hmm.
I'm not here for any other purpose other than to serve. And I hear
Yeah.
that in your story, and how coming in with that servant heart, coming in with I'm here to serve, I'm here to love, how that has just opened this door and this beautiful space of healing. And I'm sure for so many who've been hurt by white people, because as Dakota shared, I mean, that's incredibly real,
Hmm.
incredibly still fresh for so many of Dakota's family.
Yeah.
And so I think that's so beautiful that you just have this I'm here to serve, I'm here to love. Like, how can I
Hmm.
help?
Hmm. Yeah, no, thank you. I feel like God brings me the right clients and he handpicks them for me, and so it's been a blessing, honestly. I would say 80% of my life giving service has been to the Native American. That's yeah, to tribal members and I'm sad because I'll be honest, can I just share a little honest here? My heart hurts a little because I have more to give and I'm waiting. And it's like, okay, God, you brought me back home. Like I'm here and I still feel like more aren't coming. And I know I have to trust that. I'm surrendering. That's my big thing. I've learned a lot is he's always got me and it's always his timing. But I feel it, that's why I say it's about it's still going to be some time before I'm fully received. And I may never be fully received by everyone, and that's okay, right? That's okay.
Yeah,
That's life.
yeah,
But I'm I'm feeling that a big like something's going to open with, something here and someone's going to realize my heart is genuine and authentic. And I absolutely just can't wait to share, in the healing because this does affect my family. It's generational, right? My
a
kids are.
100%.
Yeah.
So as we heal, we're healing our past generations and we're healing our future generations. And I love, and that's what I'm being called to this, but I know I'm helping my husband change and shift things.
Hmm.
He's an amazing man. He shines his light in a very dark, he's in law enforcement and
Oof.
yeah, and then being on the res, he's the chief of police here. So he sees generational stuff. I remember him coming home many times and heartbroken with, he's arresting people now that he used to arrest, their grandparents. And, so as you see
Wow.
the core, right, of how we believe and how things stay in a generation for a long time. And so I know though, I've seen the opposite. I've seen the healing that can happen that we can
Yes.
reverse. Yeah.
Oh my gosh. Thank you so much for sharing
Yeah.
that. I couldn't agree more with your sentiments about just trusting in God's timing and knowing that there is something that is so much greater and so much more um, bigger than yourself, but also a mission that you feel called to and recognize that it's just not time yet.
Yeah.
And exercising that patience. it's a
You
tough
know,
road, but it's I
Dakota, I have to say it's opening because I was worried. I wanted to set these teepees up in the respectful way. That's how intentional I am, right? Like I'm like I can't just go throw up a teepee. I mean, yeah, I told you I made it kind of bougie on the inside, but I mean, we're not sleeping on the ground, okay? But it's not um, but I wanted out of respect, I know the door has to, I know these things. And I asked my husband, he's like, I don't know. I'm like, come on. And so I know they're supposed to face east and, and how many and what they represent, this. And so I was so excited that my husband was able to get one of the native tribal members that puts up tons of teepees. He was so excited to come down and he didn't judge me. He saw me. He doesn't know me. Him and his friend came and they showed us and they helped us set up our teepees for the first time and he offered to come drum. So
Oh, beautiful.
I have the doors opening. I see the things coming and I'm so grateful that they can look at me and not, maybe that was honestly my own thing, but I did feel a little of that judgment. I still do,
of course.
like I said, I go out. My husband's very in the community. I don't. I stick to myself. I stay in my home and I work from home and I just love people one on one like this. I don't get out as often as he does. He's in the middle of all of it. He sees it
Yeah.
all. And so when I do go out with them, it's like I do get looks like people are like, who, some don't know, some don't even know who I am, who his wife is, haven't seen me
Yeah.
yet or met me. But most do now at this point. We've been together long enough. That yeah. And I feel the love. I feel the respect though from a lot of people actually. So
I
I hope we
love
can
that
keep
so much because there
that.
is so much goodness. Like when Dakota's dad and I first started dating and stuff like that, just I loved the powwows. I loved the drumming. I loved the sweat lodge. I loved there's
Yeah,
so much goodness.
The culture is
yeah,
rich.
The culture
it
is
it
rich and it's
is.
beautiful. It is
Mm-hmm.
beautiful and there's generational trauma. There's just generational
Yeah.
trauma and so much hurt. And so I just with everything, I just thank you for the work that you're doing, for being there, for living there, for just being there.
Well, in my heart, there is a shift that's changing the age group of people coming from the reservation, from the Tribe for Healing this last year has really shifted. I can say it's so sad. There's been like I don't even know these families. Like I said, I don't know all of them. I know a few that have lost young youth. We had a lot of deaths on the reservation this last year, a lot of youth in car wrecks and like you're talking 14 to 18, 16, 17, like right, just young,
Yeah.
still in school and multiple. We just got hit. I don't know if it's just because I live out here now, but I feel like hard, more than normal and the grief and the loss and the what's happening. I'm getting the families like of the youth, like the siblings of those that are one came and then she shared with multiple and I mean they're coming and I went, it just hit me the other day. I'm like, this is, I'm going to tear up. This is what I've been praying for. The generational healing is the youngers are coming and these guys are spiritual giants. Let me just share.
Yes.
Yeah.
They are. They have gifts they don't even know about yet. And I get to sit here, and I get to encourage those gifts, encourage them to share. They're having dreams, they're having, feelings, they're having but I'm able to help kind of validate and support as they're going through this grief. But they are, I don't think, I hope, I think we're having a huge shift of this healing is coming.
I
It's
couldn't
it's
agree more.
already, it's happening. Yeah. They are
I
way stronger than we give them credit for. I don't even know. I wish I could tell their parents, like, do you even know how special these kids are? Like the fact that they're even here coming to get help and work on these things, and then let alone the things that we share, while we're working on each other. I say work on each other because they're helping me. They're helping me. But yeah, it's amazing. It's happening. it's exciting.
I couldn't agree more. I certainly see and feel just an incredible shift happening within just the greater collective of humanity, really.
Hmm. Hmm.
Um, it really is a beautiful and awe-inspiring thing to be a part of and to bear witness to. My other question that I had is what your experience with the relationship of the Church of Jesus Christ of Latter-day Saints has been as, I guess, a more traditional healer and like you said, with being more naturopathic in your approach to life and just
Yeah.
who you are as your being in a culture that doesn't necessarily align with that,
Hmm.
outwardly at least,
Hmm.
and culturally, I'll say.
Hmm.
Um, I'm really curious, very, very curious to hear what your experience has been.
Well, my experience has only been my experience. I know many LDS, I don't like to use the word healers, but practitioners, right? Because
Okay.
I always believe we're not the healer. I mean, I think we're all healers. Let's
Yes.
Yeah.
just say that. I do.
Yeah.
I think everyone is a healer. You are all. So I feel like yeah, that's a
We're
hard word for me to take ownership of, but we're instruments in God's hands, creator, but we are all healers. And
Amen.
so, yeah, so I don't want anyone to ever take credit away from where it's due. I don't claim that. But with that said, I've known many, not in my area. I've always felt alone. I've always felt like I was the first foot zoner in the United States, not that, in the Washington state. Oh my
Wow, you're
goodness.
really groundbreaker there.
I'm a pretty big girl, you guys. No, I'm sorry. I apologize. I meant the Washington State. I was the first foot zoner.
Wow.
And
That's
then the
still
first,
huge.
yeah, it is because there was only 13 of us in the United States at the time I got
Wow.
certified. And then I was the first instructor as well. And I mean, mind you, this is 23 years ago, but still, I've always kind of felt alone in that area alone, just learning it and doing it. But then in the church, so that's where I met. When I would go to these, it would be all LDS people.
Yeah.
Like 90% of these classes are all LDS, but they were never in Washington State, right? They're in Utah, they're in Arizona, they're Montana, Idaho. I would go to these trainings or these classes and stuff. And I was like the minority kind of, yeah, I was the one working on not LDS people. I was the one working on Native Americans. And when I would share, my stories or working on people with addictions, and they would look at me like, why do you keep working on them? I mean, I got that I
Oof.
kid you not. They would say, why do you keep working on them if they're just going to go back and,
Oof.
use or whatever? And I was shocked that that was even because in my mind, why why would I not?
Yeah.
You know, like why would they not be deserving of the same love
Yeah.
and treatment? I don't care. But they would be like, well, then I also was able to help people get pregnant more. That must have been a gift I feel like Heavenly Father's blessed me with because I thought everybody knew how to, was having these success rates. And then they'd be like, what are you doing? And so I would share with them. And mind you, again, I don't guarantee anything, but it's been a good thing that I've been able to help a lot of people with. And so I would share that. But to me, that was my first kind of like, oh, it's not normal. Not everybody sees the way I see, and loves the way I love, I guess. Like to me, it's not a question. You don't earn the respect or you give it to everyone that walks through your door. You give it to everyone that comes to you. They're coming to you, I believe, for a reason. And so that was a struggle. And then so I went and I'd come back and I would not work on LDS people, and they'd all get I was kind of sad. I thought I was missing out because all these people lived together, so they would trade and work on each other, and I always just had myself. Well, so then I never had people to trade. So I would come back and I would just give, give, give. No one to work on me, just always keep working on others, giving, giving. Well, then now I had a kind of another experience. a few years ago. I think Rhonda knows that's when I came to your
Yeah.
retreat. I was broken. It
Yeah.
broke me. It broke me because I had just prayed at the beginning of that year. That was what, 2023. And I asked Heavenly Father to make my heart bigger, like to
Mm.
love more
Hmm.
deeper. Like I already, and that's funny when I say this, I thought, oh, I have love in my heart. I know I'm a lover, but I asked him to even show me more. Like I wanted
Mm.
more. I wanted to love more
Yes.
people. So guess what he does? He shows you how to love people that misunderstand you, that hurt you, that betray you,
Yeah.
that um judge you unrighteously, that that's what I went through with the church. My
Yes.
my new my new bishop was a friend of mine, a dear friend of mine, I thought, and I still think, but it just kind of hurt. He got just freshly called as the bishop, and he's young, and he's in the medical field, so I think that doesn't help that he was against what I was doing. And I was in the young women's program, and I was told I was to stop teaching. They didn't release me. I just had to sit there for 2 years. And I was told not to teach and share stuff anymore because he thought it was borderline witchcraft. So he didn't even ask me what I do. He never came and never got a session. So I had to learn. I got my prayers answered because I can honestly look at him now with nothing but love. He doesn't know. He just doesn't know what he doesn't know, right? And
Yes.
he's doing the best he knows how, but it did hurt. And I had to go through that judgment of alls I did was like muscle testing and had a very spiritual experience with the girls about how your power of your thoughts, and it matters more what you think of yourself than what others think of you. So isn't that funny? Ironic. That's the lesson that I was doing on a Wednesday night, and we did a little muscle testing where I had them all send negative energy up to the girl at the front of the room and showed how her arm went weak, and
Yeah.
then I showed send love and how her arm went strong. It's kinesiology, it's science, it's not woo woo, right?
Yeah. Right.
And so I just got to make sure I say that
Amen.
because some people, don't know that. And so and then I was thrown the book of the policies say don't go to energy healing, blah, blah, blah. I mean, it was ugly. And then people that I thought were my friends were talking about me, and no one came to me and was asking me what I even did or said. It was actually a beautiful lesson. There was tears. Those girls all had tears in their eyes by the end of the lesson. And I just thought, how? But I know now I needed to go through that
Yes.
judgment, that fear of what others think, or I would not have built my retreat space. It
Yes.
Yeah.
empowered me. It actually empowered me to not care because I know I'm right with God, and that's all
Yeah.
that matters, you know? So I
That's
don't know if that
so
makes
beautiful and
sense.
so powerful. I think every
Truly.
person we've talked to, not just on the podcast because this is still so new, but just in life at the retreats, I get to talk to a lot of
Hmm.
people. In my work as a therapist, I get to talk to a lot of people. And I think, I don't even think, I know that it really is through the hard that
Hmm.
we become
Yes.
better.
Yeah.
We
Yeah.
become more whole. Yeah.
Yeah. I was
Yeah.
threatened that he might take my recommend away. So I'm telling you, it
Oh,
was he was going to go to the stake, and the stake never met with me. No one ever, met with me. But this is what was said to me as he stops a sound bath session we were getting ready to have on another mutual night that the kids asked me to do and share about natural healing. And he stopped that, and he was like, no. And then I just, yeah, I just feel like God needed me to I was willing to, I didn't do anything wrong. You know what I
no.
mean? I knew who I was. I know what my path was. I knew that the spirit was there. I knew it was out of fear. I can see that, but it still
Yeah.
didn't make it okay.
Right.
But I was able to love God. I wanted to leave. I was in another boundary, and we just moved. I could have went to a different building or a different
Yeah.
state, right? But I stayed because
Yes.
every time I prayed, God said, I need you there. Like,
Yes.
even if
Amen.
you're feeling like you're checking a box and you're just shining your light, and I'm
Yes.
not even allowed to speak, he needed me there to
Yes.
just shift
Amen.
that energy there, because it wasn't Christ-like energy. It was very not. It was very judgy and the
Absolutely.
opposite. And so that makes me even more empowered of I don't want anyone, like I said, my whole life, I feel like I don't want anyone to feel how I felt. And, it's okay. We have different beliefs. We have different, and guess what? Now he blessed me. This is the miracle. I got to share the
Mm.
ending here.
Yes,
He
please.
blessed me with the last year. I kept going, why am I still here? I can't serve. I'm going on my Wednesday nights. I'm just like feeling like I'm just useless. Right. And, I get a call right before Christmas, last December. No, a year now. We've been here a year. We're doing a special group meeting in the new group in the new state that I'm in. They asked me if we would be willing, me and my husband, to serve. There's only 6 of us that meet in a home. And the love and the spirit that is in that home with
Wow.
6 of us is it makes it's just like I cry every time I go. I'm like, and yeah, I'm teaching there and I'm feeling loved and respected. I'm teaching the Old Testament,
Oh,
I'm, and
beautiful.
there's so much symbolism in that. So I'm a big symbol. I believe in symbolism,
Oh,
Native
me too.
Americans. Yeah, symbolism. Like when I see eagles, I mean, there's so many symbolisms we can see with so many things, but I have been blessed to be able to not have to give up serving in my church and
Yeah.
being flipped to nothing but love and feeling so valued that I've never felt in any church. That is where the Christ spirit, that's where it should be in every building. But we feel it right there. It was such an answer to prayer. He blessed me in ways I didn't even know were even possible, because it's not a common thing, to be able to meet in a group like that. We have the sacrament, we have everything. There's no primary, no nothing, but I share my testimony every time we get to teach. I mean, you know what I mean? I've grown so much from that now, from
Oh,
two
I
years of
love
being
that.
kind of gagged and silenced and not feeling valued. So, yeah. So it's a good ending. It's a good ending.
I love that so much. I think that so often when I'm in my own whatever pity potty, whatever it is,
Yeah, it is.
those days where I'm like, I don't want to, whether that be interact with other people, whether that be see my clients, whether that be go to church, whether that be no matter what.
Yeah.
It's those moments of I don't want to, and I'm always so thankful that I do it anyway. That's actually been a theme
Yeah.
for several retreats I've put on is just do it
Yeah.
anyway. And I'm
Yeah.
so thankful I do it anyway because there's so much good. There's so
Yeah.
much good if we continue to do it anyway. And I
Yeah.
love that you never gave up. It would be easy, so easy just to be like, I have my relationship with Christ and that's
Mhm.
personal and I'm just going to worship in my own home. I'm just going to, do my own
Yeah.
thing. But the fact that you show up Wednesday nights and feel shut down
Yeah.
and don't feel like you can be you, but you still show up and now you're like, now I have this beautiful ending to this story.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. He put me in an uncomfortable. I look back in my life and I realize how many positions that I feel like I've been put in uncomfortable positions like that to grow and learn, to get out of my comfort zone and to be more Christ-like and to love more. And each one teaches me how to love more. There's nothing anyone could bring to me that I would look at them and even bat an eye. Like I think that's how we are supposed to be, right? That's looking through the Savior's eyes. That's why we're here. So,
Yes.
Absolutely. I couldn't agree more.
Yes.
yeah.
Oh my goodness. My heart is full. I am teary eyed. I am so thankful for you and your
Um,
friendship. I feel honored that I know you and so honored that Dakota's getting to know you a little bit and we were
yeah.
definitely going to come out and see
Oh,
you.
Girl, you
please.
and me are going to be best friends.
I would love that. I agree. Amen. I would love for you to have some kind of special connection here. You guys' family is amazing. You're such a light with what you're doing. Your podcast, like, it brings so much just, I don't know, unity and love.
Yeah,
And that's what we need. And
we
I'm so
do,
grateful for you guys and meeting you. And yes, I can't wait. Let's make it happen.
for sure. Soon, soon.
Okay. Yeah.
I guess just to kind of wind down and wrap up, in your words, in summary, how do you believe that we can all be more unified on our walk through life together?
Hmm.
And what
I
do you
guess,
want? Sorry, I didn't mean to interrupt.
yeah. No, you're good.
And what message would you like people to take away from hearing your story?
I don't know if I know how to put that into words. To just, if you are afraid of something, ask. Just ask, you know. Um, Keep your mind open. I feel like too many people, we are raised a certain way, or we're taught certain things from life and experiences, but that is not the big picture. So you have to kind of keep that lens of there's always another layer, another view that you can um, get if you're just willing to open your mind and your heart and to just receive. It may not be what you expect. It may be something. I love that. It may be even bigger and better, than you can even imagine. And so that's kind
Yes.
of how I try to look at every day, with gratitude, and just like, I may not understand this, but it
Yeah.
could be something, that teaches me something bigger and better. And it doesn't mean you're going to be exempt from trials. We're not going to be exempt from heartbreak, unfortunately, or hurt,
Right.
right?
If
Right.
But
if
that's not.
anything, we might be subjected to it more.
I agree. I agree. No, Dakota, you're right. I feel that.
Mhm.
I think
Mhm.
that, yeah, some of us will be challenged even more. And I've already seen the next layer of that coming at me. And I can
Oh,
recognize
yes.
it. Yeah, I can see it already. I know what's happening. And I can't stop it. That's the thing. I try to move through it and just not hold. I can't hold the negative. So I just hope that people would be open, non-judging, and loving, and just for, I guess, give grace. That's one of my favorite
Mm.
words, is
Me
grace.
too. Me too. I share it with
Right?
clients all the time. Give yourself
Yeah.
grace, give others grace. Like we just need so
Yeah.
much more grace in this world.
Yeah.
Give the person who belongs to a different political party grace.
Yes.
Give everybody like we need more.
Everybody needs grace. Like, you're going to want that. At one point you may not know it, but you're going to want that in your life, and you need to be able to understand what. If you don't know what it means, no, go. It's so beautiful, the grace that we are given and the grace that we can give. And when everybody can give grace, can you imagine the
Yeah.
peace and the love?
Yeah.
You know, we've
Because
got a
who's the
lot.
ultimate grace giver?
Yeah, our Savior. Yeah.
Mhm.
Yeah. So I don't know. That's, in a nutshell, that's what I wish everybody could have and see in others, is the love and give grace.
Thank you for that beautiful invitation. Thank you.
Yeah.
You're welcome. You're
It was a
welcome. Thank you.
joy. I love you and
I
thank
love
you
you
for joining
too.
us. And I'm going
Hmm.
to give you the biggest hug when Dakota and I drive out there to come see you.
Absolutely. Don't wait too long.
I'm
I
not.
know
I'm
it's
not.
No,
hard.
we
It
won't.
will happen the end of this month or the beginning of March. We will
I
be
love
out
it.
there.
I love it. All
Yep.
right. Thanks, you guys, for doing what you're doing. I appreciate your time and your trust in me.
Of course. Dina, thank you so much for joining us and for so vulnerably sharing your story and sharing your light with us and with our listeners. Um, just from the bottom of my heart, thank you so much for all that you are doing. Truly, truly.
Thank you.
You are changing the world, and I think that it's a good reminder for all of us to remember that each of us has the power to change the world. We can all be the change that we wish to see, and I think it's just incredible what you're doing. So again, thank you.
Thank you.
And thank you all to listening today, for tuning back in with I'll Walk With You. Until next time, remember that we love you so much. Remember your light, and remember that you can be a force for good.
Yeah.
We love you. Have a beautiful day.